Hello friends, welcome back. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I think you're going to like it. You may hate it. I don't know. We'll see. So today I'm going to walk you through kind of a case study of how I would guide someone through an elimination diet. Really, an elimination diet can be done differently depending on where you're coming from, what your background is, your lifestyle, many things. So that's what we are going to do today. My client today is not real because I would not use any of my clients' health information to make a video. However, this client is based upon people that I have worked with. So we're going to call this person Rosie. I don't know why. It's a beautiful name. Okay, so Rosie is a 35-year-old woman. She is a busy health professional and a mom. Her health concerns right now are chronic fatigue, bloating, skin issues, eczema, and joint pain. Now, there's many steps that I may not include in this video, like I would have the client do an intake form and fill out a bunch of information so that I can get to know them before we hop on a Zoom call, because we don't want to waste time. Time is very precious. And honestly, at this point, my meetings do not include one-on-one. I do mostly group coaching inside of our PhD community, generalized Q&A sessions and things like that. But when I was doing one-on-one, this is how I would do it. So then I would hop on the Zoom call after having that intake form and getting to know her a little bit more, what diets she has tried in the past, if any of them worked, which ones she liked, which ones she disliked, and why she is coming to me to do this carnivore or keto elimination diet, because that is what I promote, and she would know that before she came to me. I would also ask if she's on any medications and if she has talked with her provider about doing something like this, because I always want my clients to be working closely with their healthcare provider. Even if your healthcare provider is not keto or carnivore friendly, hopefully they're still a very good doctor, and that's really all you need. But we're trying to find more keto and carnivore doctors. We actually had one last week inside the group. Her name is Dr. Laura Buchanan, and she is amazing, and she's licensed in, I think, 37 states. So we are actively trying to find more keto and carnivore doctors to offer people, but it's hard road hoe. So then, based upon where she's coming from, so let's say Rosie, her last diet was paleo. And that's what she tried. And she even tried the AIP paleo, which is an elimination diet, but it's paleo approach. So it cuts out dairy, it cuts out eggs, it cuts out gluten, but it also promotes lots of vegetables. And maybe Rosie is thinking, because she's watched a few YouTube videos, that maybe plants could be causing some of her inflammation. And so we would talk more about what she knows about carnivore and keto, and what she feels comfortable giving up. So Rosie comes back and she tells me, I just don't think I can do carnivore, so maybe we don't need to work together. To which I would say, you don't have to do carnivore just yet, especially coming from paleo. You can, if that's what you wish, and I will help you with that, but I think you may feel better and be able to do a ketovore or keto elimination diet first. And so I would present her with that option and what that would look like. So if you are doing keto, you are cutting out gluten, wheat, grains. I would also encourage her to try and cut down on any processed foods, because there are plenty of keto products on the market that could cause inflammation. And I would also talk to her more about foods that are allowed in keto that could cause inflammation, things like almond flour and nuts, and is she willing to give those things up? So if she is indeed willing to give up the wheat, the gluten, decrease that sugar consumption, and move forward with a more whole food keto approach, that indeed is an elimination diet, and that's where we would start. So she would pick how long she wanted to do this. I would say pick 4 to 6 weeks, and then we'll move from there. So let's say that Rosie picked 4 weeks, because that seemed doable to her. So 4 weeks into this, I would have her keep up with her consistency. So she would have a calendar, and every single day she would put a green mark or a red mark. Green for, yes, I stayed on plan. Red for, I messed up and I had a little something that I said I was going to eliminate. And the hope is, and the goal is, for her to have far more green than red, because that means she really stuck to the elimination diet. Now, obviously, we want Rosie to have all green marks, but we know we're all human, and sometimes we mess up. And especially in the beginning, you can forget. You can forget that you're doing something like this and the purpose of this, and you might just like put something in your mouth before you realize, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to be eating that. And so it's okay to have a few red marks, but we want mostly green marks. So let's say Rosie did a really good month of elimination with the keto whole food approach. And so we're 4 weeks into it and we have our next meeting. She has a few touch points in between if she wishes, like, hey, I found this product. Is this okay? What do you think? And I would come back and be like, well, what do you think? Does this have a list of ingredients that you think is okay? Or do you think maybe that's too many? And help her kind of make those decisions on her own. So at the end of the 4 weeks, we could decide to push it out a few more weeks and she would keep going, because the longer you do elimination diet, the more time your body has to heal. And so when you do the reintroduction phase, you're going to see better results, essentially. So we would talk about that. Do we want to push this further? If she decided to push it further, we do another 4 weeks, just like the first 4 weeks, and so on and so forth. So optimally, I would like my clients to do 12 weeks. And then we would come back, have a meeting, and say, okay, you've done 12 weeks of elimination. Would you like to do a reintroduction phase, or would you like to do another level of elimination? Maybe Rosie is happy with her progress so far. She's seen decreased inflammation. She's seen better sleep. She's seen her eczema start to improve. She's seen all these positive indicators that this is actually helping her. Maybe she is addicted to the success and she wants to keep moving forward. The next step would be to bring down the vegetables, starting with the ones that are most likely to be causing her issues. So that would be nightshades. Some people are very sensitive to things like spinach, kale, if she's still including those, nuts, if she's still including those. Maybe she decided she wanted to continue to eat almonds. Now we might take the almonds away. Maybe we decrease the dairy. Don't completely cut it out, but maybe she stops using liquid dairy and only sticks to hard cheeses. There's so many ways to do this, and it's all personal to each and every one of us. So let's say she was on board with cutting out almonds. Okay, I don't want to do almonds anymore. I've looked it up. I've done some research, and I see they could really cause people like me to have autoimmune responses or inflammation responses. I'm okay with cutting out almonds. I can do that. I don't really like them anyways. Okay, cool. And then we talk about the dairy, and she says, yes, I can cut down on my dairy. I'll start measuring my dairy. And really measuring your dairy can help you decrease the amount that you're using. Now, in the beginning, I would also encourage her to start using electrolytes, because in the beginning, you're going to see a fluid shift usually. Any electrolytes are fine. Some people make their own. I use Element electrolytes, and these are amazing because they don't use sugar as a sweetener, and they have a really good set of electrolytes, including 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Now, also in the beginning, she may need to increase her magnesium. She may need to double down and drink 3 or 4 of these. This is something that would be a personalized approach. So the reason I love Element is because they have so many flavors and people really love them. And now they even have these cans that come pre-mixed. They're called sparkling. So they have the exact same amount of electrolytes, but they come pre-mixed in a can in a few really amazing flavors. You can stick them in the refrigerator, grab them. And a lot of people in the beginning are so used to drinking things like energy drinks that this is a really good replacement for that, because the can in the hand, in the car, it feels ultimately the same, but it's healthier. Right now, Element is offering a free sample pack with any purchase, including the sparkling, and that is amazing. You can pick any of the flavors. I'm holding the raw unflavored, which is what I like, but many people love the flavors. Not only that, but they have a money-back guarantee. So if you do order them and you don't like them, you can just call them up and say, hey, I want my money back. And they won't even ask for the box back. It's a really good deal. Head down there and click on the link, get your free sample pack with any purchase. And thanks to Element for sponsoring today's video. So back to Rosie. She is now in her second phase of elimination. She's eliminating the almonds, she's cutting down on the dairy, and she's decided she also wants to stop eating greens like spinach that can be high in oxalates and cause inflammation. She also decided that she was going to stop eating nightshades. Nightshades are known to cause inflammation in people who have things like chronic fatigue, pain, which could be coming from her eczema, obviously. So that's the next phase. We're going to cut down even more. So this is not a one and done type thing. So Rosie, for example, is pushing the elimination diet as she goes. She's eliminating on the go as a process and not as an overnight thing. And a lot of people see this as beneficial because it's less stressful. It's easier to stick to, and they feel very much in control. And it's just, and I've talked about this before, when you pull the pendulum back, if you just take away everything all at once, some people just find that it's too extreme and they end up bouncing back the other way, falling off the wagon and being like, I just can't do this, and they give up. So I love this approach. So let's say Rosie continues on and she eliminates all those things for 4 more weeks. Again, documenting every single month and every single week. Did she stick to it? Is she being consistent? Also, at the beginning, I would have her document her symptoms and the severity of her symptoms using a pain scale. I forgot to say this because that's on my intake form. So what I would say is individual symptoms. So not just pain, but where is the pain? So if she was having joint pain, knee pain, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you have to be hospitalized, it's so bad, 1 being non-existent. Where is your knee pain? So maybe hers was a 6 in the beginning, and now we're revisiting that every time we have a check-in month to month. So that's where she can see small progress, and it really is super helpful. So as we continue going through, we're rechecking those symptoms. She's seeing improvements, and she's even seeing improvements on things she forgot to document, and that's totally okay too. A lot of us, we don't think of everything we're going through in the moment because we've learned to live with it. And so one day we wake up and we have this thing that is not there anymore, and we're like, holy moly, could this be because I stopped eating XYZ? Maybe. And as long as we're documenting that process, we can see, is this a fluke, or is this something that actually is correlated or caused by these foods? All right, so I don't want to make this video too long. Let's say we get to the end of the 12 weeks. And she's not to carnivore yet, but she's cut out the top 10 inflammatory foods, including the nightshades, the almonds, and now she's even cut out the dairy. So we're 12 weeks in. And she says, I want to see if I can reintroduce something. Okay. The reintroduction phase is something that has to be done diligently, and you have to be able to pay attention to your body. So this is where the documentation comes in, because you're going to want to revisit all of those symptoms and see if any of those either get worse or come back with a vengeance, or maybe you don't have any reaction at all. So she's going to start with the least inflammatory thing, which could be different for everyone depending on what you've eliminated. But the least inflammatory thing that she cut out probably is the spinach, going by the standard, right? So we bring in a very small amount of spinach one time in 1 week. So instead of like just gorging herself on spinach, which most people don't even love spinach. By the way, if you don't love a food, do not reintroduce it. Who cares? You're not going to eat it anyways. You don't have to waste your time on that. Like, you don't like spinach? Don't reintroduce it. Let's say Rosie actually doesn't like spinach. We can skip that one. Now let's move on to nightshades. Nightshades, depending on the severity of your sensitivity, can be included in your diet, or maybe they need to be excluded. And so this is where reintroduction comes in. So she would start with a nightshade. Nightshades are tomatoes, eggplants. There's a whole list of them. Let's say she wanted to reintroduce tomatoes. So she would get a small amount of tomatoes, like 1 ounce, and she would eat that on Monday, a small amount. And she would eat them again one time on Tuesday, a small amount, like 1 ounce. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, she'd go back to what her baseline elimination diet was. So not eating nightshades, not eating dairy, not eating gluten, not eating sugar, not eating almonds, whatever list that she has made for herself that she's eliminating, she goes right back to that. And she documents every single day, has anything gotten worse? Have I had a headache? Did my eczema get worse? Did my sleep get interrupted? Whatever she notices that was good and now is not good, she's going to document that. Now, if she's like, I'm not 100% sure that was the tomatoes, I had a rough week, then she would do the tomatoes again on week 2. Reintroduce them on Monday, small amount, Tuesday, small amount, and do it again Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back to baseline, documenting her symptoms. If the same thing happens that second week, now we've seen a pattern. Perhaps you are sensitive to tomatoes. How sensitive she is depends on the severity of the reaction that she had. So maybe she had more joint pain when she reintroduced those. It wasn't super severe. Maybe she can have them every now and then. That's up to her to decide. And so we just do this over and over and over again until she's reintroduced the things that she wants to bring back into her diet for the time, and her understanding how she and her body reacts to it. This can also be mental triggers as well. So perhaps she brought back the almonds, and she didn't have any physical reaction, but it made her want to binge eat almonds. And maybe that's a different type of trigger for her that's not necessarily a sensitivity, but something that she wants to stay away from for other reasons. There's so many things that you can learn from the elimination diet that you don't even know you're going to learn. A lot of people, when they eliminate almonds and then they reintroduce them 12 weeks later, they taste sweet, really sweet. And then that sweetness makes them want to eat something else sweet. And if there's someone who's trying to stay away from sweet things, this could be a trigger food. So keep that in mind. So this goes on until Rosie decides she wants to go carnivore. And then that's another phase of elimination diet. And there's a whole new list of things that we would talk about. So I hope this was helpful to kind of give you guys an example of how this would be done if you had a health coach, or if you were doing it as a challenge inside of a group like we do inside the PhD community a few times a year. I just thought this might be helpful for you guys to see it implemented in real time with a person. If you thought this was helpful, let me know in the comments. Hit that thumb button. And if you would like more videos like this one, I would love to hear from you. I'm open to feedback, positive, negative. I'm good. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Love you. Mean it. Bye.